This scenario is playing out more often than you think. The person, let's call her Sally, who has managed her subsidiaries for 30 years, retires, and you're left with a system that's an Excel spreadsheet that just worked fine for Sally with all her hard-earned institutional knowledge, but it's not a tenable system for a modern age. The records are a mess, or will be soon. You need a new system. One alternative is to hire a commercial provider. What does that entail? What should you be asking? Today on Zippy Point. I'm Brock Romanek, and I'm a big fan of Hughes. When it comes to hiring an entity management provider, a subsidiary management partner, your choices are pretty limited if you want a full-blown system. The big three are CT Corp's hCue, Diligence Entities, formerly known as Blueprint, and Computershare's GEMS. There are other providers who offer systems, but not on the global scale as these three. So you're caught off guard because Sally has taken her well-earned retirement, and so off guard that you might not even know what questions to ask. To determine how big an engagement this might be, when you hire an entity management provider, here are 11 questions to consider. 1. How many entities comprise our current organizational chart? Knowing how many entities comprise your organization and where they are formed is the first step in organizing your entity data. 2. What are the actual corporate documents located, and in what form are they housed? Are they electronic? Are they paper? Having the data is good, but it's only half the puzzle. You will need to collect and organize the documents which underline the data so that they are easily accessible. 3. Are any of our records missing? That's a problem. In order to determine if you're missing records, you're going to need to know what you have. And from there, you begin searching regulatory databases to see if other entities exist. And you also cross-reference that list with your tax department to determine for which entities they have and in which jurisdictions you're currently filing tax returns or annual reports. 4. How many directors and officers exist for our entities? Understanding your director, officer, and management slate is critical to ensuring that the entities remain in good standing and also that annual general meetings are held on time. 5. What tax considerations are there? If you're not in close contact with your tax and finance colleagues, you are missing a major opportunity to streamline your organization's entity management. Both the legal team and the tax/finance team play important roles in the life cycle of an entity. 6. What are our IT specs? With the increasing emphasis on privacy and data protection, engaging your IT resources, your IT department will be an important step in understanding how they can help you to migrate your data from the format this information currently is in to this new management entity system. They can also ask important questions about data security to ensure that your data is protected and properly segregated from the data of their other customers and the entity management system provider itself. 7, what is the capital structure for our entities? So if you don't clearly document the capital structure and ownership of your entities, you're not going to be able to create organizational charts and the other documents that are crucial for being able to report. 8, who's going to take responsibility for gathering and auditing the records prior to moving them to this new system? So implementing an entity management system really requires a lot of planning. In the best case scenario, your company is going to assign a project manager to work with the energy management system provider to implement and deploy the new system. If that project manager ends up being you, take the time to walk through the project plan, timeframes, and deliverables for each party, along with your entity management service provider before moving ahead. 9, who should get access to our new system? So once you move over the data documents into the new system, controlling access is going to be critical. Most users should be given the view-only access, with a limited number given the important administrator access for accessing the data and the documents. 10, how extensive are the services and resources of the entity management service provider? So you're going to describe what you're trying to accomplish to the various providers and see what they suggest, the interview process, and find out who's going to be best able to meet your needs, right? As you interview the companies that might become your provider, you'll get a pretty good idea of the level of services they can provide, the cost structure, and most entity management service providers should be able to level up or level down their services based upon your budget constraints. 11, what can they do to make this process as easy as possible. So the main job of an entity management service provider is to make your job easier. And they're going to be doing this by reviewing what you're trying to accomplish and make suggestions that fit your specific needs and the budget that you have available. So in the base case scenario, they will be able to transform your job from being a data inputter to a data manager, with the entity management service provider providing the personnel and skills to effectively keep your data current both at the time you implement the new system and then, of course, throughout the lifetime of the product, or as long as you're there.